without further ado, let's get started. So my name is Abiodun, and I'm a designer, um, UI UX designer, and web designer, brand designer. Let's say I'm a generalist. You understand? So in today's class, I'm going to like start with UX design, which is user experience design, right? So then maybe tomorrow, I don't know if I'll be available tomorrow. We are going to talk about UI design. So I want us to understand the basic thing first before we move to what's it called, like practical. You get. So I think for the practical aspect, like for the basic practical aspect, you guys can like check the YouTube video and see how you can use Figma and yeah, see how you can use Figma. So we are still going to like do a project that we can include in our portfolio, but that's like for another section. So yeah, let's get started. So what is UI and what is UX design? So we have UI design and we have UX design. Then and it's possible that one person can do both, like UI UX design. But in most companies, let's say in startup that don't have much people or much workforce, like one person always do like UI and UX design. You understand? Although they might have like maybe they only have like one UI UX designer in their team, or let's say they have like two UI UX designer in their team. So both of them are going to work as the UI UX designer. So, but in larger companies like let's say Google or Meta or all these fangs company, uh, so all these fan company they always have people that are like UX designer and they have UI designer. So without bore you down with my talk, so let's just dive into today's class. So um I don't know if any of us have heard about UI design before. Um so UI design means user interface design, while UX design means user experience design, right? So let's look at what does UI UX designer do, like their daily activities or how do they work. Get. So let's look at UI UX designer as the architect, and let's look at software engineer as the civil engineer, like the people that build house. You understand? You know, we have architect, we have people that build house. Also, they call them civil engineers or building engineers. So UI UX designer, like the architect that draws out the plan, how many cement they need to build to how many like they are the one that will draw the architect, right? And they will also like do like estimation of the amount of cement they are going to use, the amount of wheels they are going to use. We get. So why the civil engineers are the people that are going to they are the people that are going to like build the house. You understand? So let's look at UIS designer as what's it called, as architect. So what do they do basically? What they do is they are going to like plan and build or design a usable product. You understand? So if I'm talking about product, so product is let's say a mobile app, maybe a banking mobile app or an e-commerce website or um a social network application, a maybe logistic application. So when I'm talking about, when I'm saying product, I mean applications. You understand? So application, either web or mobile application. So now So in today's class, we'll be talking about UX design, which is user experience design. So maybe in next class, I'll talk about UI design. So I just want to talk about UX design first before we dive into UI design. So so what is UI design? UX design, which is user experience design. So user experience design is the process of enhancing user satisfaction with a product by improving the usability, accessibility, and pleasure provided in the interaction with the product. Okay, now if you come here, you see we have UXD, we have UED or XD. So sometimes they call it experience design or user experience design or UX design. You understand? So now, UX design is the process of enhancing user satisfaction with a product by improving the usability, accessibility, and pleasure provided in interaction with the product. So, let me just explain it, or I want to give you like a real life scenario. You understand? So, who can actually imagine that we can like people that owns car, they can use their car as a private all these private cars that they can use their car as Uber as taxi, you understand? So nobody like maybe 10 years ago nobody have thought about this thing, you understand? So now if you own the car you can actually use your car as a taxi, maybe at a leisure time or maybe when you are going back home from office, you understand? So and how do Uber or Bolt come up with something like this? So it's based on idea. Maybe someone has an idea that okay, what if all these private cars can be using their cars as taxi, you understand, just to make extra income. So they put down the idea and they have intelligence people to like think of how they can build an application or a system that people can use, that they are going to have driver, they are going to have driver application and user application like passenger application. Then also they think about the security of the user and security of the driver. Like they make sure that okay, how are we going to know that okay this is the location of the passenger and the location of the driver. So it's what is like critical thinking. You understand? Like they need to like come together and think about how they can solve this particular problem. So and we have stages on or we have an approach to solve a problem like this. So we are going to get there. So then further I have user experience design encompasses traditional human computer interaction design and extend it by addressing all aspects of a product or service as perceived by users. So next page. So yeah, in short, we have UX design is studying user behavior and understanding user motivation with the goal of designing better digital experience. Like I said earlier, UX design is like a process of studying user behavior, like trying to understand what people need, trying to understand user problem, trying to like empathize, like feel what user needs to improve their daily activities, you understand, and how to come up with a solution for them. Then we have UX is not UI. So on Twitter or on LinkedIn, we have all these controversial posts that maybe someone that just started using Figma last week, we started calling him or herself a UI UX designer, and they will be designing some. I don't want to call it crap. They'll be designing a lot of let's say UI designs, and it's not UX wise, it doesn't make sense. You understand? Like some things that some of the design that they are doing is fantastic, right? But it might not, or it may not solve the user problem, or it might not solve the what's it called, the essence of the of the design. Maybe like your design should solve a problem. You understand? So user interface is not actually UX. So maybe going forward, you understand what I'm trying to say here. So we have this diagram that says UX and UI. So in UX aspect, we have usability testing, we have user research, we have personas, we have wireframe. You understand? No, sorry, wireframe is under UI design. Sorry. So in US we have usability testing, user research, personas, we have information architecture, we have user flow. Okay. Why under UI we have layout, we have wireframe, we have visual designs, we have branding. You understand? So going forward, okay. So we have UX design is what makes an interface useful. Then we have this one that says UI design is what makes an interface beautiful. Now, this diagram, we have this, you see this UI here and you see this UX here. I just want to explain this. You see this is like a ketchup box, I said box, ketchup bottle. Now, normally ketchup bottle, something like this, you cannot actually squeeze it to like, let's assume you use this um ketchup to like it's remaining one quarter, you understand, and you are trying to like bring the ketchup out. It's going to be hard for you to bring everything out. Like you have to like squeeze it very well, like use your own strength or power to let the ketchup out. But using this particular bottle, this most of this bottle design like this, they are always fragile. Like it's always like easy to press, and if you have like maybe remaining one quarter in this bottle, it's going to be um easier for you to like press it and the ketchup will be out faster. You understand? So this is UX. See, most of, like I said earlier, most of the design that people do maybe is fine, it's fantastic, but it may not solve the problem that they are trying to solve. You get? Then we have the design process. So there are five, like let's say, plans. Like I said, we have architecture. Architectures have a way they do their plan. I don't know about architect, but I'm just using it as a reference. So the first one is strategy. So number one is like user needs and product objective. So I use what's it called? I use Uber as an let me see, as an example that someone think about using, maybe, okay, all these private cars, they can use their cars as taxi during their leisure time. It's an idea, right? But it has a lot of features in it. They have to think about, okay, now we have this idea, right? So how are we going to like solve this problem? You understand? So they need to like think about the security of the driver and passenger. They need to think about the logistic. When I say logistic, I mean how the passenger will meet the what's it called, the driver, or how the driver will meet the passenger. You get? Then how they are going to pay. You understand? And how what's it called, how the driver is going to like how the driver is going to subscribe on both platforms. You understand? Like they have a lot of features going on in that application, right? So they need to like come together and think about, okay, this is what user need and these are the product objectives. Okay, let me just comment to respond better. So strategy. So what is the problem you are trying to solve? Then number two is what are your user needs? And number three is how does your product fit within a business context, product objective. So these are the questions that the owner of the ideas, or let's say UX designers, are going to ask themselves that, okay, what is the problem we are trying to solve here, and so what are your user needs? Now they cannot assume users need, you understand. So that's where we have empathy. So there's also we call empathy in design. Empathy is a situation whereby someone is trying to understand user pain point, like what user is feeling, understand, or how they feel. So then, how does your product fit within a business context? So it's supposed to be a win-win. I can't build a product that I'm not benefiting from. You understand? So I should build a product that is usable, that people can use, and I'm also benefiting from it. I'm not running a charity organization. Okay. Then number two is scope. So we have functional specification and content requirements. So defining functional specification and content requirements of your platform. Like I said earlier, um the trying to understand the requirement. Okay, how are we going to do this live location? How are we going to like calculate um a fee, like a ride fee from maybe from Ikeja to Pangu, you understand, or from Lagos to Ibadan? Then what are the features and how might you prioritize them? Like I said that they are in this kind of stuff, all this private car, you need to like they need to like think about the users and rider security, you understand. So they need to like have some things that they will prioritize, you understand. Then we have the challenge is prioritizing features while minimizing trade-off. So they have to like prioritize the features first before thinking about their own benefit. You get. Then number three, we have structure. I said we have five plans for the design process. So number three is structure. So structure is where we have the information architecture and user flow. So information architecture uh, is a plan that shows how the website or the application is going to look like the layout of everything. Let me just okay. So information architecture is concerned with how the information within an app is organized. So it's going to like map out. Let me show you an example of information architecture. Hold on. Okay. So information architecture is like a, let's say, flow chart that's going to show the whole skeleton of the application. Let's say from the onboarding part to the user sign up to login to dashboard and so on. Then we have then we have please can you mute your mic? Okay. So then we have user flows. So user flows map out the specific journey user embark on through the app to help solve their specific need. So user flow is a flow that shows how user is going to um, perform a specific task. So let me give you a real life instance. So let's assume okay it's like a flow chart. Like let's say I'm trying to book a ride. So for me to successfully book a ride, what are the steps I'm going to take? Or for me to successfully check out an e-commerce website, what are the process? You understand? So that's what user flow does. User flow will show you like, okay, this is the step, like maybe from login to home page. From home page, I see the product I want to buy. I click on the product, I read about the product, um I add it to my cart. From my cart, I click on checkout. From checkout, I pay. I made my payment. Then I input my address. Blah blah blah. Then I pay. Right. Then I receive my product. You understand? That's like a user flow, like a user journey. You understand? So number four is skeleton. So skeleton is where we now have the interface design and information design. So achieve the structure of an interface design and information design. So it's like that's when UI designer comes in. So in every product that we build, there's all UX is going to like work before UI is going to work. Actually, the work and to be like answer and right, but UX come first before UI. So because once you understand what you are trying to solve, then for you to now start doing the UI sketch like the wireframe. So while doing the wireframe, say you still have to go back to UX to make sure that okay, this design actually solve our problem. You understand? So we call that process iteration. You understand? So then we have UX or product designer start designing, testing, and iterating on the wireframe. You understand? Like I said earlier, when you design, you test. This is like iteration. We have designing and testing to solve the problem. Then number five, which is the last part, is surface, which is sensory experience and visual design. Now here we have skeleton. Skeleton is just like drawing the wireframe or low fidelity design of the product. You understand? Why this is actual design, like doing the high fidelity, then prototyping your design. Okay, so here we have communicate the brand, product, value, and functionality in one cohesive image. UI designers and visual designers start their work, and the tools that they use: Adobe XD, Sketch, Photoshop, Figma. So Figma, Sketch, and Adobe XD they do similar things, right? Why Photoshop is mainly used for, let's say, photo manipulation. Um, Want to do some illustrations, you can do it on Photoshop. You understand? So yeah, back to the surface. So when what's it called? When maybe after we have concluded about the low fidelity design, that okay, this pattern or this structure or this layout makes sense, it actually solve the problem. Maybe we get the correct button size and is easy to locate. You understand, using some UX law, which I'm going to like share in another session. So after doing all that, that's when we now move to the tools, like using maybe Figma to design our interface, like to translate our low fidelity design. You understand? So after that, that's when we now start doing UI design, trying to like do something called design system, trying to understand. By that time, there's something we call brand identity guideline. So brand identity guideline is more of design system. You understand? So the brand you are trying to, while design the interface, you still have to like follow the design or brand identity guideline. You understand? So that you are using the brand communication and also your design system. The reason why we are using design system is to create what's it called, consistency in our design. You get, sorry, so it's to create like consistency in our design. Maybe you are using constant button, the button you are using is not, maybe you have a rounded button here, and in another screen you have like four corner buttons, so everything is not consistent, and maybe the main or primary color is let's say blue, and you are not trying to use red, you understand, or the brand color. Let's assume for example now, if you want to, if you notice all this eatery, or yeah, mostly eatery, they use like red or orange as their brand color, like primary color, you understand. And what is the psychology behind the color that they are using? Okay, so to me, based on like experience, the reason why they are using red or orange is that, number one, red means like fire, right? So most of them, they cook, and they use fire in their day-to-day activities, you understand. And also, when you are hungry, or let's say when you are down, you are red, like you don't have, let's assume a battery is low. When the battery is low, we use like red, that okay, this battery is low, like red indicates maybe training, maybe okay, this, I'm in danger, like I'm red, you understand. So that's, and also the color of pepper is also red, you understand. So that's like color psychology behind those eatery, like the reason why they use like red, like Chicken Republic use red, KFC they use red, um which restaurants were in, like mostly all these restaurants, Chicken and Co at Ijebu, they use red, you understand. So most of these um food or restaurant, they use red as their brand identity. So some bank also use like blue for their all these fintech application. They use blue as their brand color. And the reason why they are using brand color is blue means maybe when trust, like trust is calm to the eye, you understand. So you cannot see a bank, okay, we have some bank that are using red, right? They have their reason why they are using red, but it's not that common, you understand. So yeah, I think, okay, so I think that's all for today. And if you have any question, I can start saying now. So maybe tomorrow we are going to talk about user interface design before we start doing practicals, so that I want you to like understand the whole what's it called, like foundation first. So if you have question, you can proceed. Do you have any question? Okay. Uh, yeah, you can proceed. You are to. Can I ask your question?
Hi, good evening. Sorry, I have a question.
Okay. So
So uh without UI, there's no UX, Abby.
okay, without UI, there's no UX. Yes, you are right, because you
Without UI, there's no UX.
no, without UI, there's no UX. The reason is that um
Okay.
the result of your UX is on the UI design. You understand? Like all your research, all
Yes,
your
yes.
everything is still like get down um to the UI. You understand? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Is that all? Juma Biodun, Tijani, Adibayo, do you have any question? Okay. So I think we should call it a day. Thank you very much for joining this class. I'm going to like, I don't know if this thing is still like recording. I'm going to like post this video on YouTube. So if you want to like watch it again just to like understand something, you can do that. Then you can also like reach out to me on the group. I will respond to you like as soon as possible. Thank you very much for joining. God bless you. Oh, God.